Hi everyone, welcome to Different Frames the World, a channel to see the world differently. Yesterday, one viewer asked us to prepare a video about the risk of China's village banks. And today, we want to talk about it briefly. Before starting the video, I need to thank viewers for supporting me as a presenter during such a difficult time for DFTW. We will remove all old videos from the channel as requested by the platform. And from now on, the channel will become DFTW Live, and all old videos will be available on DFTW Classic and our channels on Rumble and Odyssey. For viewers who cannot understand my accent, please refer to the built-in subtitles. We will also prepare another version of our videos with the clearest voice and put them on DFTW Classic. From tomorrow onwards, the channel name will become DFTW Live, and it will host live shows only. DFTW Classic will host videos with the clearest voice. Now let's begin today's topic. Will China's village and the township banks bring forth a financial crisis in China? Recently, some banks in China have been facing trouble because of a scandal involving 5 village and township banks in Henan and Anhui provinces. On June 24th, CNN published a report regarding the event, claiming suers might lose everything. It turns out to be false, as the Chinese government has stepped in and it has been working on the disposal plan for those depositors. After nearly 3 months of efforts, the police have roughly identified the facts of that case and found the truth of that incident. Henan New Fortune Group manipulated 5 village banks in Henan and Anhui through internal and external conspiracy, using third-party platforms and other money brokers to take possession of public funds. According to the evidence available so far, the vast majority of ordinary customers do not know the crimes of a New Fortune Group and have not received the promised high interest return or subsidies. The guy behind the New Fortune Group has reportedly escaped from China, and it takes time to get him back. The government drafted a disposal plan to advance the principal amount of those customers in batches, as the original data had been concealed or deleted by the criminals. A new customer information system has been constructed in both provinces. The advances will be made in batches, with the ordinary small amount customers being the first. The second step is for customers over 50,000 yuan, an equivalent of about 8,000 US dollars, one after another. After the scandal of those 5 village banks came to light, the Chinese banking and insurance organs have reportedly said that they will handle the issue based on the law, and any lawful business activities are protected. On July 10th, a massive protest took place in the capital of Henan province. However, related departments have denied that the disposal plan resulted from the protest. In the past 3 months, the Chinese public security authorities have collected a large amount of evidence after strict investigation, and the local governments and the relevant central departments have tried their best to mitigate the risk. After all preparations are ready, the first batch of fund advances started according to the schedule several days ago. In China, there are over 1,600 village banks in more than 1,300 counties, and they have played an essential role in rural areas, helping farmers. In the past 2 years, China has tightened control of small banks after it cleared over 4,000 internet banking agencies. In October 2020, China's regulators silenced Jack Ma for his remarks about reforming China's banking system at the Shanghai Bond Summit. China then probed into his Ant Group and Alibaba. In a previous video, we mentioned that China had been very strict with financial security and stability, and no one could override rules. We said last year that Jack Ma should be fine, with no life danger, but he would be quiet for a while, not high profile as before. It turned out to be correct. China does not have Wall Street, and no billionaires or interest groups can dominate the country. In the first half of 2022, China encountered difficulties because of the COVID pandemic, and the growth rate was merely a little over 2%. As a result, the Chinese government will try to boost its economy, and a new round of expansion has come. The incident is a crime coupled with corruption, but it will not evolve into a financial crisis, as the country needs a stable environment to develop its economy. It is a scandal, but it is not severe enough to shake the Chinese banking system. The China Banking and Insurance Regulatory Commission will not let this incident ruin the financial sector. As a country with 1.4 billion people, China has many problems, and there are many corrupted officials. For such a big country like China, it's not a rare thing. It's normal. The incident, to some extent, is a good thing for China to deal with such a problem before it becomes a systematic risk. However, depositors should remember that they cannot pursue high risk returns in small banks if they are risk averse. It is valid not only in China but also across the world. However, we need to clarify that most customers involved in the crime, in the scandal, do not know those so-called village banks were actually controlled by a criminal group, and we should not blame them for being cheated. They are victims. Any banks in the world can go bankrupt, and for one account in China, the insurance amount is capped at 500,000 RMB. So it is always a good idea to deposit the money into several accounts just in case. China needs to grow to cover the problems or to solve the problems it faces. And only when the economy is growing can China have enough time and resources to solve its problems one after another. In the past 6 years, China has been controlling its overheated housing sector, and many real estate giants have defaulted. When the Evergreen crisis occurred, we said China would loosen its control over the housing sector and it has already come true. In many Chinese cities, the local government encourage people to buy properties. Many people are worried as Western media have been exciting China's collapse for decades. China has overcome a lot of difficulties and become stronger each time. The incident of village banks is a minor problem, and China will solve it shortly. Thank you for watching, and see you tomorrow.